Hello everyone, I'm Jack, who is your teacher today.
Hi, I'm teacher Jason, who is going to teach you today.
Well, did you hear something special in our self-introduction? Well, yes, we're using the adjective clause to introduce ourselves. Well, now you might ask, what is an adjective clause? Sometimes when you're describing something, you may just simply use the adjective to give your sentence meaning. But sometimes we need the adjective clause to make your meaning clear. With adjective clause, it can make your sentence and words more accurate. Let's see some examples. For example, you can say, I love the newly opened restaurants. This sentence is just okay, but if you want to describe more detail about the restaurants, you can say, I love the newly opened restaurant that Jack recommended. Because there's no such adjective that can describe the meaning that Jack recommended. So that's why we need adjective clause to help us describe the sentence. When it comes to adjective clause, we must talk about related clause. This chart shows you what words to use in different sentences and situations. Later on, we will tell you more in the following class. Alright, student, let's start studying.
Hello, class. My name is Jolie, and today I'll teach you how to use nominative. First, we have to find out the noun is thing or a pet, or is a person, people. If it is a thing or a pet, we have to use which. If it is a person or people, we have to use who. For example, the book, which is covered with a beautiful picture, is placed at the counter. The book is a thing, so we use which here. The book, which is covered with a beautiful picture, is placed at the counter. We use which to represent the book. And we can also see the sentence in red as the book is covered with a beautiful picture. And the sentence in the red is also used as the adjective to describe the book. And if we take out the red sentence, the sentence will also be correct. Let's see. The book is placed at the counter. Okay, and now let's see another example. The man who is standing on the stage is my teacher. Let's see this one. The man is a person, so we use who. The man who is standing on the stage is my teacher. We use who to represent the man in the adjective clause. We can see the sentence in the red as the man is standing on the stage. And this sentence is also used to describe the man. And if we take out the sentence in the red, we can see that is the man is my teacher. And that is also the correct sentence.
So now let's learn how to use the relative pronouns as object. Relative pronouns is the object in the relative classes, and when there is a preposition in front of it, they cannot be omit. So for example, this is the house in which I was born.
Into this is the house I was born in, and then which can be omitted.
So when will the relative pronouns can be omitted? When there is no comma or prepositions in front of the relative classes, and there can be omitted. For example, this is the book that I read yesterday. The sentence will be, this is the book I read yesterday. Now let's explain its people. Men. In the relative clauses is object. We use whom in the sentence. For example, this is a man. The second sentence, you want to see the man.
This is the man whom you want to see.
Okay, now let's learn the relations between antecedents and relative pronoun. Okay, and now let's see this column. Relative pronouns as object. If the antecedent is people, the relative pronoun as a project will be whom, and it can be omitted in the sentence. It also can be replaced by that and whom. Second, if the antecedent is things, the relative pronoun will be which, and it can omit in the sentence. Besides, it also can replace by that. Okay, third, if the antecedent is people plus thing, the relative pronouns will be that. Now let's see object. We can also use that to replace it in a sentence, but there are some things you have to notice. It cannot be omitted if
Conjunction or comma
in front of the relative pronoun. In the correct sentence, I know the man whom you talk about, or I know the man that you talk about, or I know the man you talk about. Okay, now let's see the second sentence. I know the man about whom you talked. You can put prepositions in front of relative pronoun.
Hi, I'm teacher Lily. Today I'm going to teach you how to use relative pronoun as possessive. This word, whose. Whose can show the possession of animals, people, and things. And we can use it to replace the word his, her, and it. So, let me show you two examples about how do we use whose in a sentence. So here we have two sentences here. My cousin is living in a hotel. Second one, his house burned down last week. So how do we combine these two sentences into one use the word whose? So here's the answer. My cousin whose house burned down last week, comma, is living in a hotel. So we use whose here to show the possession of house. My cousin possesses this house. This house is belong to my cousin. So we use whose here to combine these two sentences. Is that alright? So, and here's example 2. We have two sentences here, and we will try to combine these two sentences. Use the word whose into one sentence. The first one, Frank is a terrible tennis player. And the second one, his father plays tennis professionally. So we combine these two sentences into this one. Is Frank, comma, whose father plays tennis professionally, is a terrible tennis player. So this is the example of how we use whose to possess a person. As I said earlier, whose can replace word of his, her, it to show the possession of things, animal, or people. That's all.
Relative pronouns, the situation must use that. Antecedent is people plus something. For example, look at the man and his dog are playing there. The man is people and his dog is something. So the relative pronouns must use that. So look at the man and his dog that are playing there. Second, antecedent have the superlative. For example, here is the best novel I have ever read. The best is the superlative, so the relative pronouns must use that. Here is the best novel that I have ever read. Next one, antecedent have ordinal. For example, she is the first woman won the game. The first is ordinal, so the relative pronoun have to use that. She is the first woman that won the game. WH question in front. For example, where is the man bought the ticket? Where is the man? And it is a question, so the relative pronoun have to use that. Where is the man that bought the ticket? First example, he is the same man we met. You can see the same in the sentence, so the relative pronoun have to use that. He is the same man that we met. Let's come to the next part. Relative pronouns, the situation must not use that. First one, the preposition before the antecedent. First example, here is the house which or that I live in. You can see before the relative pronouns, the house is a noun, so the sentence is correct. Next example, here is the house in that I live. You will see before the relative pronouns, there is a preposition, so we will change that into which. So the sentence is wrong. Next one, a comma before the antecedent. First example, I know the man who or that came here yesterday. You can see before the relative pronouns, there is the man. The man is a noun, so there isn't a comma. So the sentence is correct. Next example, I know John that came here yesterday. You will see before the relative pronouns there is a comma, so we won't use that. We will use who. So the sentence is wrong.
We have mentioned about usage of let. Now we are going to have some text to make sure you understand. So let's see about question 1. The man and his dog are playing in the park. Looks happy. Hey, Teacher Jack, can you answer the question for us? Okay, the question 2. Taipei 101 is the tallest building I have ever went. This watch is the second gift my father gave me. Where is the guy? Can solve the problem. This is the same product I bought yesterday. My mother is the only person I believe. He is the very person I'm looking for. This is the place I used to live. I do not trust the man. Talk to you.